George in Baltimore, Maryland. He's first up, and he says hello. George, good afternoon. How are you today? What do you have for me?
Good afternoon. I'm doing great. What a privilege and honor to talk to you.
Good to have you aboard, George. Let me hear what's on your mind. Fire away.
First of all, I just want to thank you for the interview you did a week ago on the Tiger book.
Yeah, the book was great. That's Armand Catane and Benedict. Yes, good job, George. Thank you.
That guy was really ready for the Masters, which I thought was phenomenal. The whole weekend was phenomenal. I really enjoyed it. I think we saw, outstanding golf going into it. We had all these ideas of what could happen, what might happen. None of them happened, and yet it was still an amazing tournament.
Yeah, I will go. I won't say amazing, George, only because the guy who won led all day on Sunday. Now I know he was tied for a minute or two, but the guy who won led all day on Sunday. So when he teed off at 2:30, he had a 3-stroke lead, and he ended up winning the tournament. So because of that, and not a lot of ebb and flow, where you had a lot of guys on the leaderboard with the chances in first place, I don't think it was an all-time classic, but I get the idea that you had 4 or 5 players that are playing very, very well, and it was a good job that Billy said not a lot of mistakes, and so he wants to see good golf.
Right.
He saw good golf. Go ahead. What else you have for me?
Well, the fact that he led all the way certainly took something off, but I was just thrilled to see Ricky Fowler make a charge at the end. I'm convinced he's close to a major. He's going to get it.
I agree.
I think Tiger put in a great appearance. I don't know that we could have expected much more than that, and I think he proved some things to himself. It was interesting in his post-interview. He said, I'm going to rest a little bit, and I'm going back to the gym.
Yeah, I heard that.
On some things.
Yeah, I agree. We talked to Billy about that a minute ago, George, and he is 42. He did play well yesterday. There are a lot of young golfers here. There's a lot of young players who I don't think are as intimidated by Tiger as they used to be. If they ever got back to a back nine of a major, it'd be interesting to see what Tiger, he's had a good year so far. All right, he made the cut at his first major in a long time. He played fairly well on Sunday afternoon. He didn't play well before that, but he played fairly well on Sunday afternoon. He played well in Florida. He hung in there in San Diego. I mean, he's had a relatively decent year. But now the expectations are going to rise a little bit. All right, he's out in the course. He's playing. He made a cut. He can walk 72 holes. We get that. Now let's see him win a champion. Let's see him get in a mix on a Sunday afternoon. That's asking a lot. Let's see him if he can pull that off. Here's Reginald in Delaware. He joins us. Mad Dog Unleashed. Reginald, good afternoon. How are you today? What do you have?
Hey, what's up, dog?
Fine, Reginald. Nice to talk to you. What's on your mind now?
You remember I called you Friday and I told you, I said, I'm a Tiger fan, and that's the only reason why I watch golf. But my dude that I was pulling for was Dustin Johnson, and he made some mistakes there. Now, dog, I want to get your take on this. Did you see the same tournament like I saw it? I saw, we're going to give Reed his credit. He won wire to wire.
Right.
But yesterday, he was right for the picking, dog. He was right for the picking.
Well, he only shot a 71. He only shot a 70. He was only 1 under par on a day that a lot of people, look at the scores yesterday. Fowler is 67. Spieth is 64. 66 for Cameron Smith. Rahm shot a 69. So did Justin Johnson shot a 69. Casey was tremendous. Charlie Hoffman shot a 67. So there were a lot of good scores yesterday, and Reed obviously was only 1 under par. Now listen, Reginald, it's not that easy leading from start to finish. He led after Saturday. He had to sit there all night. He's the last guy to tee off. That's asking a lot, and he did it. So you got to give him credit for that. Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm not taking anything from him, but all I'm saying is some of those guys they could have made a move like Rory. He disappointed me because he came out with that thing where he said that all the pressure is on Reed.
Yep.
And he did nothing.
He did nothing. Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you this. Fowler He made me a fan yesterday.
I agree with that.
I like him.
Reginald, I think you're right on. Fowler showed me something, and he showed Billy something too. You heard Billy say it. I think Fowler's going to win a major or two. He's got a lot of ability. He played well yesterday. He's pretty good in all these courses. I think eventually he's going to win one. When, where, how, who knows? But I think eventually he's going to win a couple before it's all said and done. Rick, the one thing about Rory, he tried to do a little reverse psychology on Saturday night, and it didn't work. He can't do that again. He tried to do a little reverse psychology by putting the pressure on Reed and taking it off himself, where he's got a bad history on Sundays at the Masters, number one, and he's trying to go for the complete career Grand Slam, number two, and he tried to deflect that going into Sunday, and it didn't work. Didn't work. And he got off to, the first six, he did a great job with parring one, and he's up there. First 6 shots, he was perfect. And then he missed that putt, and that was the end of it. Bad sign. Sean in Virginia is on Mad Dog Unleashed. Sean, good afternoon. How are you today? What do you have for me?
Good, Chris. How are you?
Fine, Sean. Thank you. What's on your mind? Fire away.
A couple things. You're right about yesterday. It wasn't an amazing day. It was entertaining for a little bit. I think two turning points were when Reed made that putt on 12. That was a big putt, and then also his putt hitting the hole
on 17
because that was going 30 feet past.
I thought that was too. So was 3. But you know what? As Billy said there, Sean, sometimes you got to get a little lucky, and he got a little lucky in a couple of situations.
You got to get lucky to win your first Masters, and I think a lot of people who think they're not rooting for Patrick Reed because of his character, but at the same time want Tiger Woods to do well are kind of hypocrites. Tiger Woods, just because Patrick Reed might not be a good dude, neither is Tiger Woods. You can't tell me you're going to root for Tiger Woods just because Patrick Reed has some character issues, not root for him. I don't think that's very fair.
Well, I'm not sure. They were saying that maybe earlier today. I don't know what. Remember, a lot of people didn't root for Tiger early in his career, and that's why he got great ratings. One of the reasons, because he was polarizing. You had a lot of guys who rooted against him, and you had a lot of guys who rooted for him, and that's what you want. Who's rooting against Spieth? Nobody's rooting against Spieth. Who's rooting against John Rahm? People going out there rooting for him to lose? Nobody's doing that. So from that perspective, it's a little different here for. I don't know if anybody knows that much about Reed. Now they do all of a sudden, but I don't know how many people knew that much about Reed prior to this past weekend. I knew he was, arrogant, knew he was a little cocky. I know he's a good Ryder Cup player. I did not know about the family history, and I do know now. I know he's not beloved. Sounds like he doesn't have a ton of friends on that PGA Tour, but I don't know if enough people know that around the country who are going to put on their television sets. They do know that about Tiger. Tiger's a guy that a lot of people got turned off on. And he won too much. That bothers people. He wins in dominating fashion. Reed's not at that point. If Reed, wins the next 6 majors by 20 strokes, we're going to root against him too. He's not at that point right now. And that's not going to happen. There's too many good golfers. See, the dominance of Tiger is not going to happen now. There's too many guys. There's 10 guys. I'm not trying to knock Tiger. Tiger had great players too. Mickelson was a great player. Garcia early on, great player. But Bob May is not as good as Ricky Fowler. All right, I'm telling you right now, he's not as good. Yang is not as good as Dustin Johnson. He's not as good. These are the guys that Tiger beat here in a lot of ways. Thomas Bjorn, Ernie Els is not as good as Jordan Spieth. It's not as good. 11 after the hour, we take a timeout. We continue here on Mad Dog Unleashed.